Hi, this is Peter Tartsinis from Blue on Highland in Needham, Mass. And today we're doing a veal Milanese. And the first thing we're going to do is a spicy tomato jus. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a marinara to the pot. Whether it's store-bought or make your own, either way is perfectly fine. So we'll add that to the pot. We're going to add some chicken stock. Again, any store-bought chicken stock, or if you choose to make your own, that's great. Some minced garlic. A little bit of crushed red pepper flake, hence the spicy. Some fresh basil. Some fresh chopped parsley. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil, gives a little bit of body. And then some kosher salt. And then you're going to let that simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. And while that is simmering, we can go ahead and start making our homemade ciabatta breadcrumbs. So you take your ciabatta and you rough chop it. You want to make it somewhat uniform. That way it'll cook evenly. But the bottom line is, as long as you don't burn the bread, you're going to throw it in the food processor anyways. So as long as it's nice and brown and crispy, you should be okay. So you'll take these and add them to the sheet pan. Spread them out nice and evenly so you don't have burnt on top and undercooked on bottom. And then I'd like to drizzle it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Helps the crisping process. And you don't need to hit it with any salt and pepper, because when we make the breadcrumbs, we're going to be adding all the seasonings. So then we're going to throw these ciabatta cubes into the oven between 450 and 475. It's a little bit of a higher heat. That way it browns up quickly. And probably for 8 to 9 minutes. But as always, use your eye. As soon as it starts getting brown, you're all set. And then once they come out, you want to let them sit for a little while so they're not still hot, so they don't produce steam, because if you do that and throw them into the food processor, that steam is going to make them a little bit gummy or soggy. So they want to be room temperature, set for a while, nice and crunchy, and then you'll be good to go. All right, so now that we have our ciabatta cubes nice and toasted, you want them nice and brown like this, very crunchy. It'll be easier to blend up into a breadcrumb consistency. So what we're going to do is take our food processor, put the bread cubes in, put the top on. We're going to start it. And as it starts getting finer consistency, then we'll add our ingredients. A little bit of oregano, kosher salt, some fresh parsley, some fresh basil, again ground white pepper, and then some grated Parmesan. And again, you can always grate that yourself, or you can buy grated based on your preference. So once those are in, we'll start doing this again. The first thing we're going to do is cut our vegetables and throw them on the grill. So we're going to take the tops off of the peppers. We're going to take out the seeds and the pith, which is a slightly bitter white membrane that's in peppers and most fruit. And we're going to take those and we're going to throw them on the grill. You can always toss them a little olive oil and salt and pepper to season them, if you will. But since they're going to be tossed with the dressing, it's not absolutely necessary. For the onion, based on size, you can either cut them in half, you can quarter them, you can even cut them into a julienne, whatever makes it easier to grill. As far as cook time goes, and as I said, get rid of all the seeds and all the pith. Throw them on the grill. get them nice and toasted, and while they're grilling, we will make the vinaigrette. So for the herb vinaigrette, we're going to start with a little bit of Dijon. Some fresh thyme. A pinch of kosher salt. Some minced shallots. Nice onion flavor, but not nearly as strong. Some fresh chopped rosemary. Some fresh chopped parsley. And a little bit of ground white pepper. You can obviously use black pepper if you want. And some red wine vinegar. And then mix that all up thoroughly. And then when that's mixed, you want to whisk in your extra virgin olive oil. And when you're whisking, it's always good to have a towel underneath. That way the bowl doesn't spin around. And just slowly incorporate the oil and the vinegar until it's fully emulsified, which means a full incorporation of the olive oil and vinegar. And then you can always re-season to taste. And then you have your herb vinaigrette. We're going to continue with the grilled vegetable salad, and we're going to go to the cutting and dressing process. So we'll take them all off the hot side of the grill. And we'll put them all in a mixing bowl. We'll take our peppers and cut them into a wide cut strip. And once the peppers are cut, we'll add them with the onions into the mixing bowl. And once they're in the bowl, we will add some chopped parsley, some ground cumin, and as always, buying some whole cumin seeds and toasting them and grinding them yourself is always better. Some ground or minced garlic, some kosher salt, the rough cut radicchio, about a half a head, and then the herb vinaigrette, and this is the consistency you're looking for. Not completely thick, but obviously emulsified and thick enough so that it binds itself. And then that we are going to fully mix. Smells really good. Hopefully it tastes really good. And now this grilled vegetable salad is ready to go. So now we have our beautiful ground ciabatta breadcrumbs done. So we're ready to bread our veal. And we have our pounded veal. Nice pounded thin, almost so you can see through it. We're going to throw in some seasoned flour, which essentially is just flour and a little bit of salt and pepper based on your taste or preferences. We're going to go into a bowl of whisked whole eggs. I would say 5 or 6 eggs. We're going to go into the breadcrumbs. Turn it over a couple times, pat it down, make sure it's got a nice good crust on it. And then we're going to put that into our saute pan of melted butter. And at that point, we are just going to make sure that it gets nice and golden brown on both sides. We'll let that finish for about 10-15 seconds, right like that, and we'll go to the plate. We already have the grilled vegetable salad on the plate. We're going to grab our spicy tomato jus, and we're going to just ladle about 4 ounces on the plate. Just shake a little bit of the excess butter off. We're going to put that on the plate. We're going to take our fresh arugula right on top. You don't necessarily want like a whole salad, but just a little bit for a garnish and extra veggies. We're going to take some shredded Asiago, and we're going to put that on top of the arugula. And we're also going to put that on top of the salad. And there you have the veal Milanese.